How old were you when you think you did your first?
I'll say probably about 14, 15. I always liked the guns and getting shit for free. I ain't never want to work for no money.
So would you say you have a passion for robbing and killing?
Yeah, I say I killed about 5 people in the past 2 or 3 years. So I know I'm going ahead.
In my conversations with them, they think of themselves as soldiers in a war.
How much do these cost?
It's anywhere from 5 to 30,000. It's depending on who the target is.
So would you say there's a lot of guys walking around Milwaukee that have more than 3 bodies?
I know like multiple that got like 3, 4.
The FBI defines a serial killer as someone who has murdered 3 or more people. When we hear that, we traditionally think of white dudes like Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy that do freakish things to their victims. But after spending time in some of the most dangerous neighborhoods across America, I've developed a theory. I think there are many active serial killers in the country right now, and most of them are gangsters operating out of the hood. I mean, you've heard of them. The shooter, the guy that loves spinning the block. We hear about them in rap music all the time. And today, we meet with a guy who claims to be a hood hitman who engages in the business of murder for hire. And after months of FaceTiming with him, seeing him with new ghost guns nearly every time we speak, and hearing the details about hits that I feel only an insider would know, I suspect this guy might be for real. So join me today as we step into the mind of an alleged hitman and meet the underground gunsmith who builds him untraceable weapons for the job. But first, folks, a quick word from the sponsor of today's episode. Folks, news in my neighborhood recently broke that a burglary ring is operating by using drones to see if people are home and then conducting break-in. This news was uncomfortable to hear and made me realize I need to invest in a home security system. Because the truth is, from burglars to porch pirates, it is a wild world out there. The problem is, a lot of the security companies out there are expensive and they lock you into long-term contracts. Fortunately, I found out about Cove Security, the sponsor of today's video. With Cove, they make home security affordable. With them, you can feel safe in your home with 24/7 monitoring for about $1 a day. In fact, they are the #1 DIY customer-rated home security system on the market, and they have an incredibly easy to install peel and stick security system. No drilling, no wires. Me personally, I love a camera watching what's happening at my front door, and I also really like their solar powered cameras that keep an eye on my entry points. They have sensors you can put on your doors and windows so you can hear when people come in and out of your house. And you can keep an eye on what your cameras are seeing through your phone or through your touchscreen monitor. Folks, everyone deserves to feel safe, so go get Cove today and go to covesmart.com/Tommy or use code Tommy at checkout for up to 70% off your first order. But act quick because this offer will not last long. All right, folks, let's go meet this hitman. The guys are just about to get here, but just so you know what's going through my head, to me, one of the toughest parts of the job is knowing who's legit and who's not. I've talked to these guys a bunch on the phone. I think they're real at what they say they do, but we're gonna figure that out together on this journey. Let's get them. What's up, fellas? What do you go by?
Better.
What do you got there?
You know, just MVP with a switch on it.
How do you guys feel about doing this interview?
Well, let's do it. We're finna see what's going on.
I guess my first question is, what made you guys interested in doing an interview?
Well, first of all, we want to spread the authentic news about everything. You know, it's a lot of fakers out here.
What would you guys describe your profession as?
I'm definitely a smacker. That's what we call it where I'm from. You know, I get paid to knock shit down, take a life, do whatever I gotta do. If you want them dead, you call his phone. Where are you niggas? Where the are you guys?
What part of the operation are you?
Gunsmith. I built the gun, shell the guns.
What area do you guys operate in?
We all around this motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie. We're not even just based in the city of we all around this motherfucker.
How'd you get into this?
This shit all started at a very young age, brother. It didn't even start with the money, you know, adapting to the environment. I'm a real product of our environment, so before the money came around with this shit, I've been doing this shit just out of people that don't like me and, you know, I don't like them.
How young did you get involved in the streets?
I'll say early age, at like 13, 14, when I really started popping outside and acting with this shit.
What led to you becoming a 13, 14-year-old kid out in the streets?
I had what I wanted to have, I only had what I needed. I grew up around this shit. This shit mandatory. I grew up in a single parent home. I had siblings.
And where was your dad in this picture?
I don't know where the hell he was at. He was one of them disappearing, you know. I don't know.
How old were you when you think you did your first shooting?
I would say probably like 14, 15. It's just a night outside, you know, we playing with guns. I see a motherfucker, I want to impress who I'm with, I get to shooting at people. You get what I'm saying?
It seems like you have a real passion for guns.
Yeah, I've been liking guns since I was younger. Like 12 years old, I've been watching videos of guns. I had my dad walk the room before, and I had a phone, watching people just get shot and killed on YouTube and shit like that when it wasn't too restricted.
How did you meet Gutta?
Oh, God, my brother, my blood brother.
Your Thanksgiving dinner tables are scary as I bet, dude. The first time you were involved in a shooting, was it for money? Was it for free?
There was some niggas on the porch, we walking past, they trying to walk up to us like, y'all ain't from here, type shit. And they didn't know we had pipes, cause we look young, we don't look like we got pipes, we young out there, so they just want to try to hold niggas around and shit.
Do you know if they died?
I don't know.
How many murders would you guess you've done over what amount of time?
5 people in the past 2 or 3 years.
Tell me how this career started.
It started where people know we getting shit done with the people that we already into it with ourselves. These niggas get up so much, you know, damn, we need some help. You get what I'm saying? This shit started around 17 and 16 and shit, where the money started coming in about this shit. There's some niggas out here that's scared of people they're into it with. There's some niggas that's out here not trying to run into them people. They scared of jail. They don't know how to get away with shit. I'm gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? We doing this shit, no devices in the car. We covering up, we doing make every precaution we gotta make.
How do you know who it is that you're taking out?
I did a real good study of details before I go out there and just start with people. You don't want innocent bystanders for no reason. They ain't the ones that's paid for it.
Mostly, are you taking out other street dudes?
Yes, that's 99%.
Tell me about your first murder for hire.
I think I was like 17, 18. I got 6 bands out of it.
Is there a particular hit you remember very well?
On the where some niggas, I had sold a gun too, they ain't want it. So he was like, I want my money back. And I'm like, no, I don't do refunds and nothing like that. And so he got snake talking shit on the phone when they told that up.
How many guys like you think there are in each hood around America?
Bro, it's real normal where we grow up at. I know niggas that never got on social media a day in their life, man. Jersey numbers 10, 15 bodies for no reason, you know what I'm saying?
The number you just threw out, what kind of time span are we talking about?
8 years, 8 years.
How do you prepare before you go out there?
As soon as they tell me who it is, I do my research for about a day or 2. And I'm doing all type of Facebook investigations, Instagram investigations. I'm gonna see exactly what the fuck it is before I come over there. In this city, we see cap niggas. They got all your information on there from when you got locked up. Whatever you tell your lawyer and your arresting officers, the judge, your address, your full name, your date of birth, all your information is up there.
And would you say the majority of guys that you take out are on CCAP?
Yeah, bro, we in the streets. You come and sit at that motherfucker, up.
So we talked a lot about this happening on foot in front of a house. Do you guys actually ever go into someone's house?
Yeah, see, that's a situation where some of these niggas don't like to come outside, so we gotta come in that bitch.
How do you get into someone's house?
Bro, we kick doors, all type of shit. You wanna play inside the house games, we'll put a on your ass. That's how niggas is. Niggas think with their dick all the time.
So you have a honeypot situation?
A lot of them. All she want is a little piece of change.
Isn't that a pretty big witness at the crime?
She ain't gonna say shit. She know what come with this shit.
Have you guys ever been shot at?
Yeah, a lot of times.
You guys ever been hit?
I got hit one time. I got hit in my arm. I got stomach shots too, but that shit don't count. That shit too many years ago. That was before I started slaying down, so I don't even believe in that shit.
What time of day are you doing house jobs?
Anytime. It don't matter. As soon as the money clear, we in route.
But what makes you do that rather than, say, become a welder?
Bro, I'm a felon, bro. I can't do all that shit. And then I ain't have a passion for all that shit growing up. I always liked the guns and getting shit for free. I ain't never want to work for no body.
So would you say you have a passion for robbing and killing?
Yeah, I started robbing at like 12 years old. I still do it to this day, but I was stealing out the store when my mama was shopping and shit. That's 8-year-old shit.
And did your mom encourage that?
Hell no, my mama was strict as hell. She don't like none of this shit I do.
Can you give us an estimate of how many murder scenes you think you've seen in your career?
Hundreds and hundreds.
What is the legal definition of a serial killer?
A serial killer is a person that kills in a series and not as opposed to like a mass murderer who walks into a school or a church and shoots as many people as they can.
How many bodies does someone have to be considered a serial killer?
You know, I would say that you have to have more than 2 or 3, 4.
So this is one of those stories that's really hard to verify. Fentanyl dealers, hey, send me the fentanyl. I can see it on FaceTime. It's easy. Every time I call this guy, he has a new ghost gun. The last time I called him, he had a rapper's chain that he had, I guess, stolen by force at gunpoint. So he definitely does shit. The question is, are his numbers inflated? So we're gonna talk to some street guys that I think can give us some clarification that maybe this guy's legit, maybe he's not, because I really don't know in this story. Many men wish death on me. What's up, big dog?
Nike take the today.
What's up, Jay Grits? How you doing, brother? Good to meet you. Okay, you said it before. How did you label yourself?
Street nigga.
I wanted to get a couple
Street nigga. You can say
opinions.
nigga.
No, I can't. But I wanted to get a couple opinions on this alleged hitman that I've met. If someone wants someone dead, does it make sense to go outside of your clique and ask someone that you don't even know to
You
bring
know what
you
I'm
in?
saying? That's what I was saying more than like the personal relationship shit. Like they have to really know each other to even put that trust and say, "Oh, I trust bro
And
to
I
go,"
feel like you gonna really
and
take
not tell on me.
because niggas can't keep their mouth shut anyway. So nigga know about know.
So the chance of someone keeping their mouth shut for 10, 15 plus murders is very unlikely.
I ain't never seen shit like that. Like here, like, I done seen niggas get 5 and over the course of 20 years.
Do you know that to be considered a serial killer, that means 3 bodies or more? So would you say there's a lot of guys walking around Milwaukee that have more than 3 bodies?
I know like multiple motherfuckers that got like 3, 4.
What to you are the key parts of having a successful mission?
You can't have your identity shown. Wear some outstanding shit like wear a wig or some shit. Wear big ass saggy clothes or some shit like that. Ride the block, see who in it. I get out the car down the street. We walking up to this motherfucker and we fucking everybody up on the porch. I'm just making some more money for this extra day.
You kill the whole family.
We gonna fuck them up. It depends, bro. I ain't trying to do shit to no kids.
They also say that when there are witnesses around the guy that they have to hit, that they also sometimes take out the witnesses. Is that common in a hood hit?
Not super common, really, because it does happen, but killing all of the witnesses is not typical, I would say, in gang hits, because there might be 20 people on the street. What you're counting on there is the high likelihood that people are just not going to cooperate with the police.
For those doubting that somebody can get away with multiple bodies, consider this. In many cities across the United States, the clearance rate, or in other words, the solve rate for murders, can be ridiculously low, especially during the early 2020s COVID period, which was a golden era for getting away with crime. For example, in recent years, Chicago has had clearance rates as low as 30%, and Flint, Michigan as low as 21%. And keep in mind, in gang-dominated neighborhoods, these are places that typically don't work with police. So to me, the idea of someone getting away with a few murders, while shocking, is certainly plausible. If their goal is to remain under detection by killing everyone at a scene, does that not put them at the top of the food pyramid for priority for police?
Absolutely, for sure.
Let's go further into their tactics. They say they also outfit their guns with switches when they do that. Is that a good tactic or a dumb tactic?
Unless they've gotten military training and know how to handle an automatic weapon, it usually doesn't work out that great for them, you know what I mean? Automatic weapons are a lot more difficult to deal with than people think. You can do a lot of damage quickly.
So these guys also said that if they're taking someone out, if there's witnesses around that person, that they shoot everybody at the crime scene. Does that sound legit?
That's what you supposed to do.
That's what you should do. I mean, I wouldn't say you should. I mean, it's not what you should do, but if you want to get away, that's the way.
I feel like that turns a one shooting into a mass shooting.
Exactly.
You don't think that brings a lot more attention to the scene?
It probably do, but it's a murder already, so what do we care?
How much do these cost?
It's anywhere from 5 to 30,000. It depends on who the target is.
What's typical?
Typical 10,000, niggas be one of the rap niggas out the group. That's 10,000 right there.
Your most common client is a rapper that wants another rapper dead?
Yeah.
Why don't they just do it themselves?
There's a lot of people that feel like they too noticeable, they know me, or they scared, or I ain't trying to go risk my freedom for this shit. And, you know, it's a ballpark of excuses, bro. But I don't give a fuck what's going on unless I want my money. You know what I'm saying?
How do they communicate with you?
It's usually through FaceTime because that's the most untrackable thing. If it's some out-of-state shit and I gotta go out-of-state for some shit, but really it's a pull up, bro. I'll chop it up with you.
You'll travel out of state to do this?
Yeah, but I need a deposit.
And you'll do that for 10 grand?
I'll do it. Hell yeah, that's free money for me, bro.
Can you tell me about the psychological profile of these hood hitmen that are just willing to kill someone for very low amounts of money?
In my conversations with them, they think of themselves as soldiers in a war. They don't think of themselves as serial killers, certainly. They think of serial killers as sexual deviants. I mean, when you grow up in poverty without hope, without, structure in your life, and your structure becomes the street, and it's violence, and that's all you see, and that's what you get rewarded for. In fact, I would argue places like the west side of Chicago, the south side of Chicago are war zones in a lot of ways. It becomes glorified inside the community, inside of those tight-knit circles, the people you're looking up to. If you're a 10, 11-year-old kid, the guys you're looking up to may be, unfortunately, the 17, 18-year-old guys, and that's what they're talking about, putting this guy down, running up on these guys and that, and it starts to become, and then you see it, and if you grow up in Garfield Park, and you haven't seen a dead body by the time you're 12 or 13, you are an anomaly. These guys are really, for all intents and purposes, are serial killers. That put guys in prison who killed more people than most serial killers.
How have ghost guns changed the game in your business?
So first off, we did this interview when I had my CCL. ATF came and took that bitch like a couple months after that. After that, we got set up for real. So we just driving down the street, we getting ready to take bro somewhere and shit. But right before we pull up to the motherfucking house, we see police on one side of the street, another on the other side. One of them came down this street, did a U-turn and flagged our shit. We pull over, and they ass hop out. We trying to hide guns and shit, but couldn't hide them. I mean, if it's on your side of the car, they gonna put that bitch on you, type shit. It was people in the back seat and in the front, so we couldn't really hide the guns. Well, they took us to jail and shit. They took one of the guns they thought was a rare gun. It was an M&P with a switch. That motherfucker was legal. They ended up letting me out like a few days to a week afterwards. They kept the gun and shit. They ain't trying to release no guns to me. And right now, the site that I got the FRT from, they ain't selling them no more to the ATF, investigate the device, how it worked for real.
But the ATF connected a lot of guns that were used in murder weapons to you?
Yeah, I had a lot of guns out there in my name. I got at least over 1,000 guns in my name out there in Texas.
What would you do with a gun after a hit?
Immediately sell it. It'd be supposed to be full. The shit even happened. I'll have motherfuckers lined up for like the next day or the same day, and it'll already be sold.
They also say they ditch guns in bodies of water, or they break the guns down, scramble the parts, and resell the different assembled guns to YNs. Do you think that is a good strategy to get rid of the guns?
Getting rid of a gun in bodies of water or whatever is generally a good strategy. Reusing them is a less of a good strategy because you always run the risk that there's maybe some common denominator with a piece that is led back, you know what I mean?
What do you think is unique about your approach that has allowed you to stay away from law enforcement?
Bro, I done got investigated for this shit before, multiple times, but like I said, them phones and the motherfucking hidden identities and camera actions and shit like that, that'd be the thing, bro.
What do you mean by hidden identities and camera actions?
Like, don't catch yourself on fucking camera, stupid. And then, when you get this hit with this outfit, you never wear it again. And like, I always tell people you wear a different size suit as you run away from the crime. Forensics, they taking down every detail possible. DNA, shoe sizes, you know what I'm saying?
The guys I'm interviewing say they use ghost guns that they mill themselves, which we watch them do. They never touch the body of their victim. They sometimes wear shoes that are different sizes to each crime, and they never carry a cell phone during the crime. How would you grade their killing strategy?
That's a good strategy. You're taking a lot of the forensic stuff out of it, right? Cell phone towers now have been for a long time. If you can track a suspect's cell phone to a scene, that's really good circumstantial evidence based on other factors, weapons, all of that. You know, if all of that is true, then yeah, but you could read that in a book, you know what I mean?
You know, I've traveled to a lot of different types of people, cultures. I've pretty much seen it all in the United States. One observation I've had is that backdooring, you don't find it anywhere else more than in a black hood. People willing to kill each other, willing to rob their friend for like the lowest amount of money. Like you don't see that in Asian neighborhoods. You don't see that in white neighborhoods. What do you think that is?
You wanna know something that's crazy? I'm gonna bring up an example. Every time I went to jail and shit, like, if you observe, when the black people come in, the other black people looking at them some type of way, trying to find out, oh, this nigga a rat, this nigga a snitch, I'm on his ass, I'm gonna take something from him, this and that. When the white people come in, they greet their people, they all together chilling. When the Mexican people come in, hey, you good, they help them with their shit, everybody chilling. I really feel like with black people, it's a jealousy and envy thing. We always got AR-15s, micro AR-15s to be specific. We ain't have no little big ass guns.
Why is that?
It's the easiest to get around with. It's concealable.
How many guns do you think you've sold in your life?
Definitely over 3,000 guns.
So you know your way around guns.
Yeah, for sure.
If a gun you sell is used in a hit, what do you think about that?
Some are used in a hit. I wouldn't say. I'll say about, if it, just an estimate, if it was about 3,000 guns I sold, I'll say about at least 500-600 was used.
Because of time constraints, we cannot show this full video on YouTube. But if you would like to see this whole video, raw and uncut on Patreon, use code AR15 for 50% off your first month on the site. Thank you and enjoy. Now back to the episode. We saw with our own eyes ghost guns and the milling of those guns. Do you think that alone suggests these guys have some level of experience in something nefarious?
Yeah, I mean, they have other factors. Like, I mean, could just be trying to impress you, right? But beyond that, they may be selling bullshit guns, right? They may be convincing people that these are really, you know, something special. So it could be a scam, but it also may be an active thing that works. So they make these guns to sell them.
It sounds like you could literally not give a shit if this ends up being a weapon that someone uses to kill someone with.
No. There's many weapons out there. The government sell weapons that kill people. It just depends on the person.
It feels like you kind of have a cold heart towards the world. Do you believe in heaven or hell?
No.
Are you scared of going to hell?
No. I told my mama many times, I know I'm going to hell.
Why do you say that?
Because I know a lot of the shit that I did could lead me there.
Do you have any fear of prison?
I'm not going to prison. I'd rather bang it out with the police. I'm gonna be reborn, so.
How old were you when you saw your first dead body?
14.
And your home life at this time was all right?
Yeah.
You weren't being abused?
Nope.
There wasn't any man in the house beating the shit out of you?
Nope.
A lot of people look at the impact of drill rap on culture and they say that it's a cancer, that it's leading to so many murders and deaths and shootings and poverty and fucked up situations. Do you think drill rap is a negative impact on our society?
Hell yeah, bro. That shit play a big ass part because everybody want to fit in, bro.
If a mom gets killed, if a kid gets killed, an accountant gets killed, and a super street guy gets killed, the super street guy is less prioritized simply because he's not as innocent.
If this is the murder guy, he's a really bad guy, we really want to solve that because he's likely killed by another really bad guy. And the truth of the matter, however harsh this sounds, if you solve that murder and get the bad guy who killed him, now you've taken two bad guys have been taken off the street. We're going to get more cooperation if some mom who's walking home with her groceries gets caught in a crossfire. We just are, because even the neighborhoods that don't want to cooperate as much with us are going to be more cooperative because that's wrong on its face. Where, you know, if you're living in some of these really challenged, underprivileged neighborhoods, and you're just trying to get by life day to day, mind your own business, stay alive, and the guy you know who's the bad guy down the street gets shot, it's like, I mean, I've had these very specific conversations with people like, come on, detective, I mean, that guy's been a pain in my ass, been a pain in the neighborhood for years, and now he's gone. You want me to put myself at risk to help you out? Would you? I mean, you know, like, and how do you argue that point?
Tell me more about the attitude of like, we gotta do what we gotta do, as if like you have no other options.
At some point, we ain't had no other options, and then it's just at this point now, we got somewhat of an option, but we so deep in this shit, like, changing up now, what the for, because it's already what we, like, doing for real, for real.
So your neighbors must hear a lot of strange noises coming from your house.
Yeah, probably.
Do you live in situations like duplexes or apartments where you have neighbors that can hear through the walls?
A lot of the banging shit, I do it in like a closed door far back of the house where people can't really hear. Man, most of the time, I probably do this shit in the garage or something.
Would you feel bad if you killed me?
I wouldn't kill you.
Why not? What if someone paid you to do it?
I'll kill them for trying to pay to do it.
My dog. So obviously we don't want anyone to die in the filming of this video, so we're gonna do a recreation. I asked them to simulate what does a real life call look like if you're negotiating a hit. So what you're about to see is that.
When, who's that? Yo, what I was finna say, hey, I got a big move going on, man. There's a lot of money on the floor right now. I need y'all to meet me at the big house. All right, bet. So what's the way? We on the way. All right, bet. Make y'all wait. Be there in like 5 minutes. Come on. Hey, yeah, now we go. What's that word, brother? Yo, brothers. What's going on? We chillin', man. What we talking about today? Man, I got action for you boys. So, shit. I've been getting this nigga name, shit, dick. This nigga been running off and shit, though. Yeah, cause people be on and shit. But I think he really be at his big house on shit. I'm finna show you a picture, matter of fact. Yeah. Here you go, right here. Got a couple of them. Let's see the whole page where this nigga from. Oh, yeah. I know him from around the way, brother. You do? Yeah. You be cool, nigga. Send me get the address. What's his last name? It's safe. Well, his address right here. So what the fuck, like, what really happened though? I've been getting this nigga on dick, but I've been throwing extras on everything that I've been giving the nigga. He ain't paying that pay. He ain't paid back. So how much we talking, man? Man, we talking about 20 bucks. 20 bucks? How about 25, man? We could do 22.50. Nah, we sticking with the 25 or you gonna be done with the birdie yourself. 25, you got it. Alright, where's that? I got you soon as the business done. Alright. Don't play with that money, man. You know how this shit get.
What is it like taking someone's life?
It's really normal. But it's gonna be on your mind all the time. When you take a motherfucking life, like same day, next day, your ass don't wanna really go outside. You gonna feel like weak. Like, damn, why I do this to this motherfucker?
But you feel regret usually for the day or two after?
Yeah, cause you gonna see your family online crying and shit. And some of these people you might not even know you can really be related to. Cause it happened before.
Has there ever been a job that's haunted you or woken you up at night thinking about it?
I ain't gonna say it woke me up at night, but I do think about shit all the time. I be thinking about that shit sometimes. Because it be some of these people that I knew personally, like you said, I was like, damn, but I needed the money. It's backdoor is a bitch, but I grew up around backdoor ass shit.
What do you think about that somebody's life was worth money for you?
I don't think too much of it, bro, because they'll do the same to me if they had the opportunity to.
What do you see the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, I see myself in the next 10, 15 years at a point in life where we don't gotta do this shit. I don't wanna live in the United States no more. I gotta get the fuck out of here because my face is too bad. Rich as hell in another country.
Folks, that was a wild episode. I just want to say there's things that I cannot show on YouTube, texts I've gotten, videos I've gotten, but I feel confident I delivered exactly what we said in the title. I'll just leave it at that. Appreciate you guys. See you next week. Peace.